Want to say a very big thank you for staying tuned to us right here on Tea or Coffee on High Impact Television. How are you doing? And of course, I hope you've enjoyed all of the things that we have brought for you this morning. Now we are moving on to the next one we have this morning. And of course, we have a guest that will be doing justice to that topic this morning. Our conversation is common misconceptions if love is blind. And yes, we have a guest. The guest is right here with us this morning.
And of course, our Remo Olalekan Oluwatobi is a storyteller and is also a life coach. Is somebody that tells stories of love, relationship, and transformation, and is very particular about young adults and teenagers, especially because they are, of course, the ones that have the highest bane of belief in the phrase "love is blind." So it's very, very important to have conversations that will guide their path and help them not to make mistakes that some of us as adults have made. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Same here.
So let's quickly dive into this. Is love blind?
Well, it depends on who is saying it. Okay. I think it's perspective usually when we understand the context that people use it. So generally we can say no, love is not blind. But then most times it is used in the context of saying love can identify something and choose not to point it out.
Okay.
So in that context, we can say love is choosing to be blind. So if we say love is blind, no. But can love choose to be blind to certain things? Yes.
Okay, so the idea of love being blind is based on choice.
Yes, it's a choice. It's not like it's the love that made you chose, because love itself is a choice. So love itself is a choice. So if most times we say love is blind in the sense that so I see a guy or I see a girl that is selfish, and I choose to say I still love her despite that selfishness. Doesn't mean love is blind. It means I have chosen to overlook that selfishness and fix my eyes on other things about her.
Okay. Now, but before we even go into if love is blind or not, I need to hear your definition of love. What exactly does love mean to you, or what is love generally?
Okay, so love is a choice. I think that's, for me, that's on the line. Love is a sacrificial choice, a choice that you make every day. Most times we think about love as a feeling. Love is not a feeling. Do you get so? But most times.
Wait. Back up.
Let's get back. Yeah, we cannot move too quickly. Yeah. Love has a feeling.
But love is not that feeling, because there has to still be love even when that feeling itself is not necessarily there. So, yeah.
This table is being violently shaken.
It sounds like so physics and mathematics and all of this together.
So, because, see, all that we've always known is that love is, for me, I believe love is a choice, love is a lifestyle. But you have to actually feel it.
Okay.
So when you say that when the feeling is not necessarily there, love still has to continue. Yeah. I am wondering what's going on.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, love itself is not that feeling, but love has that feeling. For example, you have emotions. But if a particular emotion, if you suddenly, for any reason, stop feeling things, it doesn't make you not you anymore.
Okay.
So you are first you. It is because you are not able to feel. So I can actually feel for someone. Doesn't mean I love that person. But if I love that person, I will feel for that person. So if I wake up one morning and I look at my wife and I don't feel what I felt for her when I asked her out, does that mean I stop loving her?
Okay. Like, I don't even know.
Do you get? So most times the issue is we focus so much on the feeling. The feeling is good in itself because it's what is key. It keeps us going and all that. But more importantly is the choice I've made to love this person no matter what. So even if I wake up one morning and I don't feel as excited as I used to do, what I have to do is, I know that that feeling is not what made me love her. What I have to do is find ways to reignite that feeling, understanding that it was not the feeling itself that made me declare I love her in the first place.
Okay, so I need to, sorry, I need to ask this. So if love is, how did you put it? If love has a feeling,
yeah.
but then the feeling is not,
Itself
it's
is
not
not love.
love, why do we come up with, why did we come up with that phrase, love is blind? Why?
Okay.
Because my orientation is about to flip to the left, because I'm trying to wrap my mind around a lot
Okay.
of things that I've been taught, that I've learned over time, and now it's sounding like I guess you've been misguided and all of that. Why did that phrase come up? Love is blind, because of course you already explained that it is a choice to overlook whatever it is or whomever it is that you're involved with, overlook their flaws, overlook their misgivings and all that. So why did people come up with that phrase, love is blind?
Okay, so first, generally, I think that the phrase was, came up because people were looking for excuses to stay in toxic relationships. Okay, I think. So I can say that, you call maybe a sister and hey girl, what's up with you? Why are you still in the relationship with this guy? The guy is beating you and all that. And she says, bros, love is blind. I love him, so I can't leave him. Now, love is not foolish in itself. So at times, I think that's kind of scenario is what started making people say love is blind. So I can actually overlook negative experiences I'm having in the relationship and still hold on to a feeling I have. Okay? But then, in the true sense of it, love is blind. Really, what it actually means is, so love sees fully. I can see clearly. I can see this person. But I am choosing to actually focus on particular things. Because we are all human beings in process. We are not all perfect. So I see someone, so maybe I have a list of 10 things I'm supposed to check in a girl I want to go out with. And I see 9. And 10, she doesn't have 10. I can choose to, okay, she doesn't have 10. Can I deal with it? If I can do it, I can choose to have a blind eye towards number 10. Doesn't mean I'm not seeing about 1 to 9 fully in itself. So love is blind can be used wrongly, and that is most times the way it is used. I think most times people are an excuse to just stay in really toxic relationship, which is really unfortunate.
Okay. So here's the thing. I have heard people argue that love is not blind, right? But this is their argument. The argument is love sees everything. I see everything. I see that you are wearing a pink shirt. I see that you don't use glasses. I see that you like your hair packed in a certain way. I see that you like certain type of activities. I see that you know all the things that I see. I can see.
Yeah.
Now, and there are the negatives also that I can see as well. However, while I can't be blind to it because I see it already. I know it is there. And for some reason, if it's not comfortable with me, I owe it a duty to you to tell you that this is the part of you that I'm not comfortable with.
Yeah.
But I think that it is the essence of accepting. That's where the argument comes in. The acceptance is actually it. More like accepting that this is who this person is.
And freeing it.
And just letting it be that, okay, this is part of the package and I'm just taking it like that. I mean, we all buy phones. And as much as we know that our phones have certain qualities, picture quality with camera and all of that, there are some things that our phones don't have. And we just live with it because, I can do without that anyway. And I still love my phone regardless. If this phone falls down right now, I'm going to freak out. Because my phone, right?
Yeah.
So it's pretty much having that level, that sense of acceptance. Now, what do you think about that argument? Is it the acceptance? Because if we say turning a blind eye, there will be a day that you'll be forced to reckon with that negative side.
Okay.
So what do you do when that happens?
Okay. So usually, I think that on a scale, for each person, there are particular things that of priority to you when you're talking about relationships. For some, they take intelligence of more priority than looks. Some, money is more important than intelligence. Some, different things. So based on that scale, there are things that you can say, if he's not smart, but he has money, okay, I can deal.
Can work with that.
We'll find a way. Anyway, we'll rough it, we'll deal. Okay, so that's not a big deal. Now, most times where it gets to an issue is when it becomes a character flaw.
Okay.
So, say for example, a guy that is very fisty. Okay, he likes to use his hands for different things.
The fighter.
Okay, the fighter, and the girl says, he fights, but he's cool. He has a good heart. But every time I upset him, he hits me. Okay, but he has a good heart. She says, okay, I accept that he beats me. Accepted. But I also acknowledge that he has a good heart, and I think he loves me, and I love him. So, love is blind. So, I will move on. One day, I know that if it might stop, it will change. Maybe when we get married, maybe when we have children, look at the children and not eat me anymore. And she keeps going on like that, like that, like that. Okay, so most times, when it becomes a character flaw, it's not an issue. So acceptance in itself, there should be certain things that should not be accepted at all. Okay, so yes, the love is blind argument goes with acceptance, that person has accepted this thing, acknowledged it, accepted that I can roll with it, then you say love is blind. But in itself, I believe that love, as blind as love should be, it should be able to see clearly and point out the things that it can deal with and the things that cannot be dealt with. Because, like I said, it's a choice. Most times, most of these arguments of, like this person this scenario I just painted now, what is pushing that person really is a feeling. Feeling of, if I break up with him, where will I start? How do I go do it? All the couple goals that we've done on what people say. You know, you get all those things. I'm wondering. So it's what is actually keeping the person there is a feeling of, I love him, and at that point it's no more love. It's just feeling that is sustaining it, and because love in this sense has to be mutual. Love can be one-sided. If it's love-sided, we just call it the crush. Do you get? I have a thing for you. You are not reciprocating it. Situation. From crush, it can be. You get? Then it can become what's it called now?
Friends with benefit.
It can now show in all these other ways, but it has to be mutual, such that hey, I love you, you love me. We are game. We are choosing consciously and consistently to love on ourselves and act and show it in ways that are both mutually beneficial. The moment is now one-sided, then there's something wrong.
There's a problem. Now, talking about showing it and acting it and choosing that person and also doing something that would be of mutual benefits to one another, I need us to have that conversation on genuine love. Now, I mean, of course, you already stated the fact that love has a feeling.
Yeah.
So how do you know that you're genuinely in love with whomever it is that you've decided to choose or enjoy mutual benefits together? How do you know that this is love and not infatuation? Because there are times whereby they look alike, they're siblings or they're twins. All the feelings, all the sparks or the butterflies in your belly would make you feel like, okay, so you know what, I am totally in love with this person. And of course, the way the person will react back to you would feel like, you know what, we are on the same page, let's get married. But how do we know that this is not just fantasies and you building castles in the air?
Okay, so 1 thing, time. 2, sacrifice. 3, relationships. Time, in the sense that most time reveals love. That's why most times I advise that before you start going out with someone, spend time together for a while to be sure that this thing is real. It's not just feeling here and there. Then, of course, then sacrifice. Love is very sacrificial. And there are sacrifices that are convenient. But when the sacrifice is in itself, is when you can do things that are inconvenient without thinking that the person owes you.
Okay.
So, if I can do something for someone, and without expecting anything in return, without thinking that because I've done it for you, then that should show you that I love you, then that just might be it. Okay. Then relationship in the sense that how do people see us together? What people say. Now, talk about how what people say should not affect and all that. But people, when I say people, I mean people that you are, okay, like, the friends you mentioned, the wise one in your life, see you together. People tell you, guy, they end up being no connect.
I don't see.
Do you get?
I don't know what's going on.
This kind of things. So if you see people like that constantly tell you, yeah, that babe, then watch it, because those are valuable relationships you've had before her, and they know you, and they can see, because you feelings is just everywhere with you, but somebody else that is not biased is looking at it and can say, babe, guy, this ain't no day. So when you look at those three things, then yourself, most of the difference between love and infatuation agrees that love is blind, but doesn't do anything about the flaws. Love says, I see this flaw, I talk about it, we deal with it. Infatuation is, I beg, it doesn't matter, let's just go, let's just move on, I'm enjoying it. But love says, guy, you're selfish. I can't go out with the selfish guy. You have to deal with selfishness. Guy, the day we're arguing, I saw your hands moving up and down. I can't deal with this anymore.
Are you choreographing?
Do you get? But infatuation means, I say, he was just a dancer, so most times his hand moves up and down. So, love sees the flaws, identifies it, talks about it, actually deals with it, but infatuation just lets things go.
Okay, so if love deals with the flaws, it means that love is not blind.
Technically, because love sees all things.
I mean, so now, for me, I'm looking at it from another angle. It's quite easy for all of us as individuals to, we all don't like having honest conversations with ourselves. As in, if it's like, we say, have a conversation with yourself, but have a conversation with yourself, they can have a conversation with yourself. And you see all of us trying to feed off what has Lekon said. Okay, it rings true, I will hold on to that. What has Bolade said, it rings true, I will hold on to that. Now, what happens in situations where you find people that they idealize, there's this image that they have created in their minds about this person, the all perfect, never do wrong kind of thing. And everybody is pointing out to you that, sister, open your eyes. Open your eyes. This idealized version of him that you have is not it. It's not, So how do we separate that idealized thing and really opening our eyes to see what's going on?
We have
Kemi from Lagos. Hello, Kemi. Good morning.
Hi. Good morning, ladies.
Can you hear us, Kemi?
Yes, I can hear you. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
How are you doing?
Very well. Okay, so this question is for the relationship experts.
Okay.
Mr. Arimo. Okay. So we've taken cases, in fact, we've had cases of husbands beating up their wives in marriage, leading to their death because they have refused to walk out of the marriage. Now, my question is, what is the solution? Because this is marriage. I mean, if it is just a relationship, it is a different ballgame. But this is marriage. You are already in it. What is the solution? What is the way out? Is divorce the way out? Is separation the way out? What is the solution? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kemi.
Thank you, Kemi.
Did you hear a question?
Okay, let me reiterate to be sure I get that. She was asking that what is the way out for a marriage situation where the husband is abusing the wife, okay, and the wife
dies in the process because she doesn't want to leave.
Okay. Now, I've heard stories like that a lot, even in relationships, unfortunately. And life is important, really, okay? And I'm of the opinion that, now, I believe that marriage is forever. Once you get married, the idea should be we are in this forever. But that is as long as it's mutual. As long as it's mutual. So if somewhere along the line someone begins to abuse the other, especially when it comes to physical abuse, social abuse, I believe that there's nothing wrong in a period of separation. Okay, a mother or a wife is at home and is being abused by her husband, or vice versa. There's nothing wrong in both of them separating for a while. Let them seek help. They can now meet, constantly with a psychologist, a counselor, and get healing together. If they get healing together, of course, you have your home back. But if one party is not interested, the other party cannot force that relationship. Okay, and then, so in that case, divorce seemed like, now, divorce can be painful because, especially when there are children involved, you have shared a part of your life and heart with someone, and most times, I don't know how it's possible, but divorce can be messy, but most times always a mess. So it's best avoided. But if it can be avoided, it's better than this any day, anytime. So it's best that separate, counsel, get help together, heal, have your home back together. But if one party, whether the male or the female, is not interested, I just wants to be doing their own thing, then it's time to move on.
Before I let him go, there was a question that popped in my head. I would let the other questions slide because we have to go. Is it compulsory that every love relationship should end up in marriage?
Yeah. Okay. Personally, I believe so. I believe so.
Okay.
And there you have it. We want to say major thank you for joining us this morning on the conversation. Common misconception: if love is blind. We've cleared it this morning that love sees. It says all things. The moment it says, it helps you correct whatever flaws it is that you have. We have more to come on Tea or Coffee. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back.